Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and hello. Whoop, whoop, it's the sound of Aileen. Whoop, whoop, it's the sound of Aileen. That sounded better in my head. I'm not even going to lie. I'm sick of always singing the same song. It's always, guess who's back again. But yeah, I'm back. I mean, only missed 2 weeks this time. We've been in limbo health-wise, but we're not going to get into that today. We're not doing the pity party. If did anybody see the video I put on social media today? I had to. So anybody that knows anything about TikTok, normally you get like 15 seconds or 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, and then a 10-minute option to make a video. But for some reason, all my pages are giving me maximum 10 minutes, apart from the page for Reboot Your Thoughts podcast. It only gives me maximum 3 minutes, but anybody who knows me will know there's nothing I can say very much in 3 minutes. I like to talk, and talking is my life. So I was making a video just to say that I was just about to go and start recording, blah, 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 blah. And when I went to press record, my maximum was 3 minutes, and then I ran out of time. So then I had to re-record the video. And I had to talk really fast and tell you everything in there, one of the ones. And I still didn't get everything in, it still cut me off, and I thought, I'm not trying again. I know they say third time lucky, but that doesn't necessarily include me. But we'll talk about that one another day as well. So, how are y'all? Hello to any new listeners. Hello to all the regulars, or anybody that just dips in and out. What have you all been up to? It's, in inverted commas, summer here in the UK, but there's no much summer going on. It is pouring down with rain. It's gale force winds. It's horrific. I think we maybe got 3 days of sun in May, and then it disappeared. I'm actually convinced we might get snow in July this year. Not that I'm trying to put a jinx on it or anything like that, but I do genuinely think that this is what's happening. In fact, we were driving back for, I'd picked my son up for college, and we were driving back and something fell from the sky. That was a bit dramatic. So I seen something landing on the ground and falling and everything else, and I genuinely thought it was a bit of snow. That's how convinced I am it's going to snow, but it actually wasn't a bit of snow, it was like a leaf or something. I know they're two completely different colours, but it was a very light colour and it was very tiny. Anyway, that's that. If you've seen the video that I put on today, I did say I've got 2 stories to tell you about things that have happened to me on TikTok lives, 2 separate occasions in the last few weeks, so we'll get into that in a wee bit. This week I'm not really doing a one card fits all type episode. I'm going to give you a wee bit of updates, and I'm going to tell you my stories, and we're just going to, it's not that we're winging it, because I do know what I'm talking about, but we'll see where the conversation takes us, because we all know that doesn't matter how much I plan something, I could have a script in front of me, which I never ever have a script. You all know that. I've never got a script because I could never do it. I could never go off a script for this, because I'd always go somewhere else anyway. We all know it takes one word. Just takes one word to attract my mind to go somewhere else, and it's normally into a song. So if I had a script, could you imagine how many words would make me sing? The episode would be like 3 hours long, and that's just me doing my karaoke. So yes, which it's another story. I was out birthday shopping for my oldest son at the weekend, and my youngest son was out with his pal. They were going to go to the cinema, but before they went to the cinema, they were going shopping. I just so happened to bump into them in a gadget shop, and I says, "Oh my God, look, there's a wee mini karaoke machine. I think I'll buy that." And he's like, "Don't you dare even think about it. Just put it back, walk away from it, pretend you never ever seen it." And I was like, "Well, I think that's a bit unfair because I'm a good singer." He's like, "Who told you that?" Because it wasn't me. So I got told I was nearly to buy a karaoke machine, which obviously with my brain means hurry up and buy one. You should have bought it yesterday. But we'll see we'll see. We might end up with a karaoke machine in the next couple of weeks. I don't know. I need to concentrate on birthdays before I concentrate on karaoke machines. But yeah, that wasn't one of my stories I was going to tell you, but I just thought I'd tell you that soon as I was talking about karaoke. This is what I mean by I wouldn't be able to be scripted for anything in life, because we go off topic too much. I'd get in trouble. I'd be in work for an hour and I'd be sacked. If I was one of the people that had to read off an auto cue, they'd be like, oh, Aileen, we can't quote you. We never know what's going to come out of your mouth. Although I do have something I'm going to put in my vision board that might mean that I need to be scripted. It's not a TV thing. It's not anything like that. But yes, so it's something that I'm hoping to manifest. As part of work, as part of my whatever I'm doing. So yes, that is that. Anywho, what have you been up to? Have you done anything exciting with the 2 days of summer that we got if you're in the UK? My dad's in Australia now. I know you've had torrential rain in, is he Melbourne or Brisbane? I think he might be Brisbane. I think he might be away to Brisbane. I should know that because he goes to the same place every time he goes, but I don't. But I think it's Brisbane he goes to. Sounds familiar. Is that just because I watch too much Neighbours and Home and Away? Are they Melbourne? See, I don't know. I'm not very good with all this geography malarkey. Where in the world are you? And what's your weather like? What season are you in? One of my friends, Ainsley, you may have heard her on the podcast before. You may have heard me talking about her before. She's just hit me with a curveball about a new career path she might go down, and I was like, and I'm not going to tell you because it's not my place to tell anybody any of her business, but I was like, where did that come from? Will you still be able to be my pal? Because I don't know if your work will accept me. Might give you a clue there. What else? What else has been happening? Like I said, my health's been in the gutter a wee bit. This is the second day I've went to go and try and get my prescription, and there's still something missing, which they've got to now order for some central warehouse place. It kind of sounds like they're ordering it for Pablo Escobar, but I hope they're not, because I don't think the stuff that I need and the stuff that he's got is going to do the same job. I mean, there's days where I could probably be doing it to keep me awake, but today's not that day. Well, it might be in 10 minutes I could be sleeping. We don't know how I'm going to go, but anyway, we've got our vitamins and we've got everything we need. So that's that. Hopefully things are going to get... The only way is up, baby, for you and me now. Right, that'll take me into my first story. Listen, you pin back your ears and listen up, fellas. I'm going to tell you how to make your friend jealous. Wait till you hear this, right? So, it was about 3 weeks ago, maybe. I'm sure it was at a weekend, but I'm probably wrong because I can't remember. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what day of the week. But if you are regular listeners, or if you've listened one time, or if you've never listened but you've seen me on social media, if you know me personally, you might realise, or you might have came to the conclusion, or you might have heard me saying that I am bilingual. Don't laugh. No. I know some of you want to laugh, and I just think it's terrible that you are laughing because I'm bilingual and you're not. Anybody that has never listened before, the running joke is that I'm bilingual, but I can say hello in Spanish. I can count to, 6 in Spanish, and that's it. Oh, I can say thank you. I can obviously speak English / Scottish. When I say Scottish, I don't mean Gaelic. I mean Scottish as in slang. I'm not really selling this, am I? And I can speak French a wee tiny bit. So, this is where it went a wee bit tits up for me. Because this night on TikTok Live, I was sitting with a couple of friends, we were sitting talking away, and as usual I'm like, oh, I'm bilingual, and I was showing off, right? I was just showing off, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I was doing all that jazz, not knowing that there was somebody from Barcelona sitting in my chat. And he was like, that was him talking Spanish to me, right? And I went, oh, my usual, no comprendi, no comprendi. Speaking English, speaking English. By the way, I get that from my dad. Just saying. That's how my dad used to do when he couldn't understand anybody. Whenever we were on holiday, no comprendi, no comprendi. Speak English, speak English. Or if he didn't want them to say something, he'd say, no speak English, no speak English. So, luckily, one of my friends speaks a wee bit of Spanish. So she was translating until it got to a point she couldn't translate anymore. And she's like, Aileen, you can speak Spanish anyway, just you talk to him. And I was like, hola. And then I'm saying to him, can you speak English? And he's answered me in Spanish, what I think was, well, it was Spanish, right? But whether he was saying anything that made sense or whether he was Googling it, I couldn't tell you, right? But anyway, oh, well, does he not come on and wants to talk to us? He comes in the box and wants to talk to us on the live, but no in English, in Spanish. And me and her are going over there laughing. And I'm like, oh, I speak better French. Do you speak French? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Bonjour. Ça va? Comment t'appelles-tu? The usual that you learn in school, you know. He didn't speak French. He didn't really speak English. In fact, he didn't speak English at all. The only thing he said in English is, you come to Barcelona now? And I was like, oh my God, I might get murdered here. This guy might actually be wanting to kill me off. So I says, oh no, I'm going for a bath. Can't he come now? And then I said to him, I need to get a new passport before I can come to Barcelona. And he went, oh no, you don't need passport. Don't you worry. I sort this. And I was like, he either really loves me or he wants to kill me. Now, it's got to have been one of the two because that's the first I spoke to him. So either he's been plotting or one of my exes have been plotting with him to bump me off, or somebody really, really loves me and wants to marry me. Because why is he wanting to get me into a country without a passport? Is that so as I can't be found again? Listen, I might be blonde and I might be daft. I'm not that daft. Well, I probably am, because I'll probably go next week when I'm freezing. So anyhow, so that was that. So anyway, he continued to talk to me in Spanish that I couldn't answer because I didn't know what he's saying. My pal decided to hit the giggles. She's in fits of laughter because at this point she doesn't even know what he's saying. And I'm sitting going, oh, I've got to be dead. And then I'm saying to him, do you really love me that you want me to come to Spain that fast? But then I kept saying to him, obviously, like I just said a minute ago, I'm going for a bath. I can't come to Spain now. I'm going for a bath. And he's like, yes, you come to Spain now. Oh, you're going to come to Barcelona now. And I'm like, no, I'm going for a bath. And he's like, yes, Barcelona now. And I'm like, oh my God, does bath sound like Barcelona? So I had to just hang up the phone to him. Not that I was on the phone to him, but you know what I mean. I had to just end the live and run away because I was scared. I got genuinely terrified at that point. And then I phoned her. And I said, excuse me, why did you leave me with him? She says, well, he's your boyfriend. I was like, it's not my boyfriend. So that was the end of that romantic relationship. But then last night he did come back again, but he didn't talk to me. Well, I think he might have said hello. Can't remember. I think he might have said one thing, but I don't know what he said. They're just like, oh, he's back. My boyfriend's back. Back to check up on me. And that was the end of that romance. It was shorter than a holiday romance. I did have a holiday romance once that I couldn't get rid of for 3 years. That's a whole other story. Listen, I've got loads of stories to tell you. I've told you this before. There's loads in the bag. But we don't like to give out all details at the one time because then I've got nothing to tell you later. So, what was the other story I was going to tell you? Oh my goodness me. Drama. Drum roll. Dramatics, amateur dramatics, any kind of dramatics. Again, as I said, I was on live on TikTok. I'm starting to think TikTok's got something against me. I really am. There's a lot of negativity on that. Not from me or to me, but there's just something that keeps going wrong in my life, and it always ends up to do with TikTok. My mum did say to me the other week, "Do you know how you should come off that TikTok?" I was like, "I'm having a rare here, don't you worry." So anyhow, last night was on live with the same friends again, and we were just sitting talking, and I went, "Do you know that way you just, a name catches your eye and you go, oh," and I went, "Oh, hello." I did say the person's name, I'm not going to say it on here. And I'm having this conversation with it, and I was actually getting quite embarrassed, because the more I was talking to him, the more I was like, I'm going to have to explain how I know this person to these people, and it's quite a complicated story. So I go full depth into telling them about how I first became friends with this person when I was 13. He wanted to date me. We had a kiss, but that was it at 13. But then I didn't. He was a wee bit older, and I didn't actually hang about where he did. And I had loads of friends elsewhere in Glasgow. So it was pointless dating him. And I didn't really know him, to be fair. I'd only knew him for like 2 weeks or something. But he liked me, right? We'll just leave it at that. He liked me. But I wasn't sure. But I was also very quite shy when it came to boys at that time. And I'm trying to think how much of this story I can actually tell, because I completely mortified myself last night. So anyway, I go into the story about how I knew this boy when I was 13. He's a couple of years older than me, and then we ended up started dating when I was like 15. I didn't really go fully into that story, but a wee bit did. And then I tried to finish it with him. He wouldn't let me finish it with him. We kept saying, "Oh, Aileen, stop kidding on." And this is me trying to tell you it fast, because I'm going to end up mortified again. And then I went on holiday. I told my pals to tell him. I didn't want to be with him anymore because he wouldn't listen to me. I was away on holiday, came back, living my best life when I come back, like just walking about the streets as normal, thinking that I'm single. And as I see this motorcade chasing me about, I'm hiding behind bushes. Guess who's in the motor? You got it. He was in the motor, following me about everywhere, because as far as he was concerned, we were still in a relationship, because nobody told him while I was on holiday. So I had to hide film for another 2 weeks, a month, I can't remember what it was. Basically, my life wasn't safe. Well, my life was safe, it wasn't dangerous, but I had to just let him know without telling him, because when I told him he didn't listen, so I had to just ignore him, which, looking back, isn't very nice, and I would never do that to anybody just now. But in my defence, I tried to tell him at least 10 times I didn't want to be with him anymore, and he didn't. Even his pals got to the point they were laughing because they thought it was hilarious that I kept telling him, and he was still like, "Shut up, Aileen, stop kidding on." I actually am being serious. So anyway, I'm talking away, and my pal's going like, "Aileen, are you alright? You look as if you're mortified." I was like, "I'm mortified. I says just somebody's in, and I didn't expect to see them." And then they got married to somebody else, and then years later they wanted back with me, and then I still didn't want to be with them. But listen, by this point it was like a good 18-20 years later. Bear that in mind. It's a long time later. Then, now in between this, he never spoke to me for years and years and years after we finally did split up, because I don't know. In my eyes, I don't know. He was hurt. He was hurt, right? But like, why are you not talking to me? I wanted to still be pals with him. He didn't want that. Anyway, so then a good 15 years later, he decided to want to get back with me. And I couldn't, because his ex-mother-in-law stays in my same street. And she already hated me because I used to date him before our daughter did. And it was very messy, and I was like, "Oh, we can't do that, we can't do that." So then I'm telling them all this on this live last night, because they're like, "What's the matter? Who is it that's there?" So I'm explaining all this to them in this live, only to find out it wasn't even him. It just looked like him with the same name. That could only happen to me. I've just gave out my worldly secrets and his worldly secrets, because there's a lot of that people probably don't know. And if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but the whole of TikTok knows. I didn't name you, it's alright, and I've still not named you. You know who you are and I know who you are, but nobody else knows who you are. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Anyway, he's happily married now. Well, as far as I know, he's happily married and got a family and all that now. So listen, it all worked out for him in the end. Me, on the other hand, I've got a Spaniard that might want to bump me off or want to marry me. I'm not too sure, and I don't know if I want to know. I think I'll just swerve that one a wee bit. So we're nearly half an hour in. Yous have all had hopefully a good laugh at my expense. So what we're talking about this week? Well, I'm just going to talk about work, not in a boring way. I don't mean it like that. I'm just going to talk about work. I don't really talk about my work very often, but I'm adding some new stuff in just now that might be of interest to some people. And I know I'm going to be doing the whole business podcast and everything else. This is, it is and it isn't. It is business related, but some of you might be interested and some might not. Obviously, every episode I tell you at the end if you want to book in for an appointment, blah blah, and I quickly go over it, but I don't really tell you in full everything that we offer and how we can help and all these different things. And now that I'm bringing something else in, some of you might be interested in this. If you're not, absolutely fine. If you are, absolutely amazing. And all you have to do is contact me and we'll get full details and we'll do initial phone consultations and all that type thing. So, what's going on with the Reboot Sanctuary? The Reboot Sanctuary is my business. I've had that for 6 years. Initially started off as just counselling. Some of you may not know. Previous to that, I had another business called The Print Boutique, where I made personalised prints, my own prints for clothing, bags. I done gifts and all these different things. I had a shop at one point. I used to work on market stalls. I had my own market stalls every week all over Scotland. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. But due to my health, for example, my arthritis and fibromyalgia, all that, I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable for too many more years at one point. Probably when I was in my early to mid 30s, I realised. So I retrained and became a counsellor. But also previous to the Reboot Sanctuary, I've lost my words now. Previous to the Print Boutique, I'd worked in call centres and done different office jobs and retail, and I'd worked in cafes and restaurants and different things, but I had also worked within a certain overeatings type shop where we sell lingerie and different things. Some of you may know what shop I'm talking about, some may not, but I don't think you're not really allowed. It's not that you're not allowed to say you work there. They don't like you talking to like media and things like that about anything to do with the business, so I just want to keep myself right, and I don't know if the class of podcast is media or anything, but you well know who I'm talking about. And I worked with them via their party side of things. I was initially a party planner, then I became a manager and party planner. So I had my own team and everything else. And you were self-employed, so that's where I first gained a lot of my knowledge in business. I was already interested in business and interested in things like bookkeeping and all that previous to that, because that's everything that I studied for at school. Had a couple of years in between where I never really done anything because I was bringing up the kids. And then opened the Print Boutique, then the Reboot Sanctuary, retrained, opened the Reboot Sanctuary 2020, just in time, I was going to open it, and then we went into lockdown, and then it was just coming out the first lockdown is when I opened it officially. Still had the Print Boutique at that point because obviously still needed money coming in, so money coming in for that while I built up the Reboot Sanctuary. And the Reboot Sanctuary, yeah, that's right, I'm getting myself confused now. So that was that. We started off with, as I said, counselling. Now the counselling we offer is for everybody and anybody. So regardless of age, regardless of gender, how you identify, your beliefs, your morals, because none of that's any of my business. That's not any of my business. I'm just here to help human beings with whatever issues or struggles or whatever they might have. I'm not here to say you're too young or too old to have struggles, because nobody is. I'm not here to say that you should be identifying as this because this is how you, because that's not my business. And I'm not here to say because you're one sex over the other, then you can't be struggling. That's all wrong. I'm just here to help anybody who needs help. So we've got that. We can do it one-to-one. We can do it as couples. We can do it as a family. We can do it as a group. We can do it in person if you're within the Glasgow area, although the majority of it is Zoom calls or phone calls, because I can help people anywhere in the world. So even if you are in the Glasgow area, we can still do it over Zoom or over phone call, because you may want to do it in your lunch break. You may want to do it once you put the kids to bed, but you can't be bothered with anybody coming to your house because I'm mobile, all these different things. Then after a couple of years, I decided to add in life coaching. So your life coaching is more about getting you confidence and helping you achieve and aim for things that you're not too sure how to go about it. Anything to do with you moving forward with your life and helping you get to that point. Then move forward another year or two. I think it was 2 years, was it? I can't remember. I'm lost now. Yeah, maybe it would have been, because that would have took us to about 2024. I decided to add in business coaching, because obviously by that point I had well over 15 years, 16 years worth of business knowledge built up. So I was fairly knowledgeable. So we've added in the business coaching, and again, that can be done in different ways. It can be done where it's one-to-one with the business owner or somebody who is at management level within your business. It could be done in a group session, as in individual businesses all coming into a group session online on a Zoom call. Or it can be group sessions within your business where your employees all come in and get the knowledge that they need. Now I'm adding in business strategy, which is another addition to business coaching. And this is more about, rather than me purely giving you coaching within the business sector, this is going to be more focused on your business as well. So it's going to be even more tailored than what business coaching would be, is the best way to describe it for you. So that's the business side of it. The new coach, so strategy coaching, business strategy coaching is going to be, it can go hand in hand with the business coaching, or we can do one or the other, right? So business strategy is a new thing, but that's not what I was going to tell you about. The new thing that's coming in is, and some of you will roll your eyes at this one, and some of you will open your eyes at this one, content creator stroke influencer coaching. Now, the world that we live in is changing so much. We all need to adapt, whether we like it or not, we need to adapt to it. Influencers, in inverted commas, and again in inverted commas, content creators are the new way for businesses to be seen. They use content creators, they use influencers, and a lot of people do want to be in that. And if you think about it, it's almost like you're getting into advertising. It's almost like you're getting into modelling, all these different things. It's just another way to do it. So if you're interested in doing that, this is a new type of coaching that we're going to be offering. But along with that, and you don't have to take both options, you can take one or the other, or you can have both. So along with the content creator stroke influencer coaching, we're also going to be setting up an agency for anybody that does want to become a content creator or influencer. And again, you can do the content creator stroke influencer coaching without joining the agency, or you can join the agency without doing the coaching, or you can have both. And you don't have to make a decision there and then what you want to do. These decisions can be made weeks, months, years down the line if you want to do one over one and then another one later. Within the agency, what we will do is team up with other businesses and get you started, get you set up, so that our agency is initially going to be potentially, because we're still mapping it all out, it's not fully in, it should be all set in the next month or so, the agency. the content creator side of it, the coaching side of it, we're good to go. The agency side of it, it's probably going to take at least another month or so, but that's okay because the coaching is going to take longer than that anyway. So don't worry about it. Because we want to get you perfected in it. And listen, I'm not here to do all the work for you. Don't, and that's with anything that I offer. Don't be thinking that you're going to come to me and I'm just going to click my fingers and you'll be better. You have to put the work in as well. I'll give you the knowledge and I'll give you the everything, but you have to do the work and you have to do the homework and you have to do your part as well. So the agency, we're just looking in just now at some of the legalities and what we need to do to make sure that we've got you and ourselves both covered. So that's going to be set up. And I'm working on the website. If you've seen online, I'm working on the website just to make sure that all the information's there by the time that everything's ready to go. So if you are interested in anything that we've mentioned, so whether it be counselling or any of the coaching, so life, business, we also offer wellness coaching or the content creator stroke influencer coaching. If you're interested in any of that, send us a message, send us an email, or send us a WhatsApp. You can just click the WhatsApp button on the website, which is therebootsanctuary.com. Again, anybody in the world, around the world, as long as you speak English, or we can try and get a translator. Because I know I say bilingual, right, but I'm not very bilingual. I'm just a wee bit bilingual. Then we can get you booked in. We will be doing content creator coaching, influencer coaching, whatever you want to call it, in person at some point. Initially, we're only doing it over 18s, and I'll tell you for why. I'm laughing because it's not actually funny, and I'll explain why I'm laughing in a second. The UK government are talking about taking away social media for under 16s, which I don't agree with, and this is why I laughed. So until I find out the full ins and outs, say whether anybody under 16 or 18 are going to be allowed to use social media, there's no point in me offering taking your money. And this is something I'm always very passionate about, not taking money off people that I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not just here to take your money, I'm here to help you and you get the best. Obviously, if you're 16, 17, then yeah, we can do something. But I want to make sure, but me and my friend were talking about it last night, and I'm very passionate because teenagers love their social media. Adults love their social media. The government are wanting to take away the social media because 1, trolling, 2, paedophiles, and 3, any other dangers that are out there. Any other dangerous people. Now, instead of 1, punishing the person who is inciting these behaviours or threatening people, trolling people, trying to meet up with young children, or even just talking to them or trying to get photos or whatever it is they're doing. Don't know, because obviously I'm not in that world. Instead of punishing them, they're punishing the children. Instead of punishing or reprimanding or giving a fine or whatever to the social media platform for not doing their bit to help with children being safe and being protected, they're punishing the children. So me and my friend decided that I was going to write an email. We know I've done it before. We know I've done it before about the trolling. We've wrote emails to MPs. We didn't really get very far with that MP, but I have a new MP in my area, and it seems like he's on the ball with some things, or everything that I've seen him talking about so far. Whether he's willing to deal with anything like this or help me deal with anything like this, I don't know. There's only one way to find out, and that's for me to write an email. So I think that might be my job at some point this week. She's told me that I have to. She's basically said, Aileen, you're doing it and that's it. And I was like, okay, boss, sorry. sorry, boss. So apparently I'm doing that. Because I'm very passionate about these things. Like, why are you punishing the child for something that, again, it's the punishing the innocent, isn't it? It's like, and I don't want to get political and I don't want to get into certain things, but you've got certain people who, let's talk about, I don't want to go down the political route and what everybody else is arguing about just now, so I'm going to stay away from that topic because I don't want that to be like this, but let's just talk about, we know men are very afraid to take their children to the park or to the swimming baths or even to bath their child or tell anybody to bath their child because they're scared in case people look at them in a certain light. And that's terrible. That's heartbreaking, and it's disgusting that a man feels like that he can't just enjoy a day out with his child, and he can't just nurture his child without at the back of his head thinking. And you know what? That's because of people that do these things, or people that think, or people that judge. People can't see somebody being happy, but there must be something wrong with them. They must be doing something bad. It's like my mum's neighbour sold their house because the parents passed away. They sold the house because the kids sold the house because the parents passed away. And then, I was going to say a young couple, but I think they're in their 40s, bought the house. But they have a small family, a young family, two little girls. They've got, as far as I'm aware, one car. It's a nice car, similar to mine, so I know roughly how much they're maybe paying for it. This person that lives at the other side of my mum, he's lived there for a lot of years, the same as my mum. So my mum's lived there for over, what age am I? So she's lived there 34 years. He's lived there longer than that. They were there before we moved in. But they've got no children. And they're obviously retired now, because I think that they must be in at least the late 70s anyway. And he turned round to me and they went, "Oh, they must have money." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Well, they've bought that big house." Well, the house is smaller than yours, so what does that say about you? He says, "And they've got that big fancy car like yours." Now, I live in a council house. Depending where you are in the world, you might call it local authority, I don't know what you might call it. I rent. Our house isn't even big enough for us, to be fair, but we make do at the minute until we get something bigger. That's the first car I've bought in a lot of years. I always keep my cars for a good few years. Basically, what my son will tell you is I run them into the ground and then I get a new one, which is kind of probably about right. So that was the first car I had bought in about 5 or 6 years, maybe even 7 years. And I got it on hire purchase. I didn't just go and pay the money for it. They'll have a mortgage, they'll have theirs on hire purchase or rental or whatever they've got it on. So it's not as if they went down and went, right, there's X amount of thousands of pounds for my car and there's X amount of hundreds of thousands of pounds for my house. And he should know that. He should know better, because he had a mortgage on his house. He was a taxi driver. Before that he was a fireman, and then he was a taxi driver after he retired for the fire service. I think he retired through ill health. And they've got one car, and they've got their house, and they've got 2 spare bedrooms. So what's that say about them? They've got a house that's too big for them, if you want to play that game. No, I'm not judging them, I'm just saying what you could say to them in your argument. But this judging everybody about, oh, they must be doing, where are they getting their money from, or they must have money, or oh, look at the clothes they're wearing, they must be poor. Do you know what, like, we need to stop judging everybody. Because it says more about you than it does about them, because they're potentially not judging you or anybody. And I don't mean you, I mean the royal you, the royal we, whatever you want to call it. It's just I don't like it, and I don't like all this stuff that's going on in the world now. It's very unsettling, and it's horrible. I just wish that everybody could just get on and come together right now. I'm not singing the rest of that song. But yeah, it's a lot to think about, isn't it? There's so much going on in the world now. There's so much hatred. I just wish there was a bit more happiness, things to look forward to. I mean, I'm going to win a lottery. I've not decided when yet. Well, for starters, I need to have the £2 to actually put it on, which I don't have at this precise moment in time. I'm joking. I just never put the lottery on. But I've seen a house that's a perfect size for me to work from, live in, and also if my dad comes up to visit, there's a spare bedroom there, because my dad lives in England. There would be a spare bedroom there for him, because at the minute nobody has a spare bedroom for my dad to stay in when he comes. So I need to win the lottery. Or I need somebody really kind to give me a mortgage, which I don't think anybody's going to give me a mortgage that size just purely because I've never bought a house before. But what do I know? I've never had a mortgage before in my life, so I would need to go and speak to somebody and say, excuse me, can I buy that house, please? And I think I'd need to do it quite fast because it's a stunning house. So here's my only gripe about it. It's right on the main road. I've never ever been. I've lived on that road before, but a different part of it. I've never been a fan of living on a main road. I know my kids are grown up now, but then it's where you've got that added problem of trying to get in and out your driveway because it's such a busy road. But then what if my kids start having kids and then I've got grandkids that want to play? See, do you see where I'm coming from? This is why I need a farm. Any farmers out there who's looking for a wife? The farmer wants a wife. The farmer wants a wife. E-oh, my daddy-ho. The farmer wants a wife. I'm your gal. I'm ready. Just don't ask me to work with sheep because me and sheep are not friends. But here's a story, right? So the other day, was it last week? Have I told you the story about donkey? I know you can't answer me, right? But there was a donkey in the farm up for me a couple of weeks ago, and everybody started thinking that I had imagined this donkey because nobody else seen it apart from me. Then we seen it on social media. I think I did tell you this. Then we seen it on social media. Somebody else asking, "Have you seen that donkey?" And I was like, "Ah, ha, ha, there's my proof. Look, everybody's seen the donkey apart from you." So then I started getting believed about the donkey. 2 Highland cows last week. Oh, I was in my glory. I was in my element. So I don't know where donkeys disappeared to, but now I've got 2 Highland cows, but none of them were the other day. So I'm starting to think the farmer might be neglecting. I don't know if he just rents his farm out, his land out, maybe to that. I don't know what happens. I don't know how I've ended up with donkeys and Highland cows, and I do think I seen a bull at one point, but I don't know if that was just one of the Highland cows wasn't as hairy. But so that's what's going on in my life, in my work. So if anybody does want to book into anything that I did talk about 25 years ago, like I said, just go on to therebootsanctuary.com. We can help anybody, regardless of where you are in the world, regardless of age, gender, blah, blah, blah. Everybody will get an initial phone consultation before you book in for your first appointment. We will constantly do random checkups with you throughout, especially if you're doing coaching in groups or if you're doing counselling within group sessions. We will do random checkups with you, which will be pre-booked in advance. It's not as if I'm just going to phone you up randomly one day and say I'm in to check on you. You see how you're getting on. So you can go on the website, therebootsanctuary.com. There's a WhatsApp button on there. There's also links to the phone number. There's links to the email. And there is a contact me forum. If you just want the email, it is therebootsanctuary@gmail.com. That may be getting changed at some point, but now that'll always be there, but we may have another one coming soon. An additional email coming soon for different topics, let's put it that way, different sectors. And then if you want me to discuss anything on the podcast, the email for that is rebootyourthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to sponsor or advertise on the podcast, same email. And if you would like to come on as a guest or want me to tell a story, everything is in confidence, regardless of whether you're a guest or I'm telling your story. We don't have to give out any full details. Again, email rebootyourthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. For now, I am going to go. Let's see what nonsense I got up to in the next week. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. with Season 4, Episode 11. But for Season 4, Episode 10, it is bye-bye from me. And I will speak to you so soon. Take care. Look out for yourselves. Ask for help if you need it. and look out for each other. Speak soon. Bye.